Jump into the conversation. All right, so.
Yeah.
You're right. I got you.
It was a justified jump in. Brooke said it's jump in.
It's my stuff. It's just their stuff.
I wanted this chair.
Is Kristen supposed to be coming in? I said he should come in and dance for them.
Oh, we're doing that?
Oh, yeah. Nonetheless, you can like sit down. I don't know what to say. He could come. Because he said that. He said he could do them all. Oh, really? I mean, if you want, like, just kind of sit down.
Oh, so he's going to do the monkey dance.
Just kind of like sit back and sit up.
I am. Right.
That's Kathleen's seat. Oh, pull up a chair. Where's the next salon? Hey, why don't you want to sit next to me, man?
I would love to.
Kelsey.
Ow.
Getting out of the teen chair.
They do that.
I would never take over your station. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I didn't see him. So you are a new tech person? They could use you upstairs.
I would never take over your spot.
I just figured they all need a place to.
I just have like specific slides that like what is left lolly, but there isn't time. Where?
Y'all.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to the annual report.
Caroline isn't looking.
Caroline's not looking. What? Come on now.
Well, we are so excited that you are here with us, and we're going to do our best to project because we don't have a microphone right now, so if it's your turn, please try to project the best you can. But we just thought that this weekend would be really fun to just give you a little recap since we just came off our trip and we're still fairly excited about it. And when we were first sitting at, I think it was on the way home, we were at the airport, and I was like, Lisa and I are going to talk about the mission, because we both teach Sunday school, but Brooke and Kayla, you guys come, and then Carly and Caroline and Kelsey were like, well, we want to come too, so we were like, we want to have you all. So I kind of just made a slideshow, and we're just going to kind of go off each other on this, so it might not be the perfectly manicured approach that you want to see, but we had an amazing time. So this was us as we prepared to leave for our trip. This was the 10 of us, and we definitely have become closer together with each other and closer together with the Lord. And we just thought that we would start off by praying the African way, which means you all need to stand up and hold hands, because that is how you pray the African way. And then when you are done praying, you all have to clap. Because after every time you pray in Africa, you clap. So would one of you guys like to open us in prayer?
Dear Lord, thank you so much for bringing us here together, Lord. I just am so grateful for the things that we did on the trip and the things that we learned. Lord, help us all find those things that we're just so excited to share with the women of the church. Lord, I pray that, I pray for the people at the camp. They just rounded out youth camp, and I know that they're looking for a time of just rest and relaxation. Help our words come across. Help us do this exactly where you want us, Lord. You are our creator. So I just pray, Lord, that you're here with us today. I pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
No.
So I made like a little, it's just one song, it's like a little 4-minute video that I put on my personal Facebook. So there is a lot of pictures of me in it. It's not because I was slighting anyone on our team, but it was just kind of like my thank you to those who supported us. So we're just going to start off by showing that. Is just where is Lepalawi? Does someone want to share where it is, where we went?
It's in South Africa.
South Africa. So that means it was a 15-hour flight and 15 hours and 30 minutes, and then a 4-hour drive. Basically, they're all paved roads until you get off the main road, and then it's all dirt roads. So it would be like,
But it does say pothole.
it does
So
say
they have
pothole.
signs that say pothole, but then it's like the road.
So we felt like we were in New Jersey. Yeah. And then, so it was about 4 hours north of Johannesburg. Many of you hear about South Africa and you hear Cape Town. From Lephalale to Cape Town would be a 25-hour drive based on the road systems there. So just to give you a little idea of where we were, a lot of people before we left were worried that we were going to get Ebola, but Ebola from Lephalale to the Congo would be driving from here to Portland, Oregon, or Seattle, Washington. So we were not really in the same realm of that at all. What is Acts 26 missions?
I'll take this one, and you guys please add in. So Acts 26 missions started through FAC by two people named Jody and Kathy Adams. And basically what they do in Acts 26 missions is they work through the schools, right? They run a school program where they can introduce the gospel and prayer and everything to students. And then for 3 weeks, they run a VBS for 2 weeks, which is just like ours. We did Rainforest Falls, so which was great because we were actually able to help them with a couple of the imagination station things. And so they did the imagination stations. I don't know if Holly wants to picture it. Picture the number you kids had and times that by like 100? I don't know. So they run the VBS. It's available to anybody 8 to 10 years old, and they bus the kids in. Sometimes these, and I'm just going to go further, I'm sorry. They bus the kids in from different places that they live, and sometimes these kids have to walk, and leaders, so I don't know if you saw the leaders we were with. We really just got to play and have a lot of fun. They had people that did all the stations from Acts 26. So basically, you know what, I feel like I'm going too far. So Acts 26 runs the 2 VBSs and they run a youth camp. On there, they had just purchased, they've been renting out ranch, farm,
Compound.
It's like workhouses.
workhouses
Yeah.
place.
But they still have a $300,000 mortgage on this property.
So, and that's, I remember standing with Jody for Acts 26 missions as we were meeting the buses, because if you saw Christine's, anybody's updates, we went from like 100 and something, 211 kids to over 400. So what does that take? That takes buses, big, humongous buses. And by the middle of the week, they had 6 buses that were picking up kids. And again, they were walking miles to get to these bus stops. And there was 6 buses, and I looked at Jody and I said, when you think about this, like, what is the biggest prayer you have for these VBS groups? And I thought it was gonna be, you know, people helping out. And he was like, honestly, a majority of our money goes to the buses that we have to send out and keep here. So that's one thing I've been praying about, because without these buses, these kids can't get there. So, and without the vans from Acts 26, the leaders can't get there to help out. So, just throwing that out there. Anybody want to add anything about what you think? Well, not what you think. What is Acts 26? Oh, I thought you were going to talk.
No, I don't know. I'm like thinking pondering. Oh, I can read it. Okay, yeah.
So this is actually what Acts 26 is based on, these verses.
Yes, okay. But rise and stand upon your feet, for I have appeared to you for this purpose, to appoint you as a servant and witness to the things in which you have seen me and to those in which I appear to you, delivering you from your people and from the Gentiles, to whom I am sending you to open their eyes, so that they may turn from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified by faith in me. Acts 26, 16, 18.
So who are Jody and Kathy Adams? So Jody and Kathy are cranberry farmers from Chemung in New Jersey, and they owned a cranberry farm there. And I know it's not far from where you live, Pete. Yeah. So about 12 years ago, Jody went out on his first missions trip in South Africa, came home, fell in love with it, and said, "Guess what, Kathy? I want to move to South Africa." And she said, "We're not doing that." And he was like, "But I really want to do that." And she's like, "I'm not feeling led. We have kids here. They're going to be getting married. They're going to be having kids. And I don't want to leave our life here." So he said, "Okay, just promise me to go out with me on a mission trip." So the following year, they went out on a mission trip. She came home and she was like, "It was really nice there, but you have a great time. You can continue going, but I'm not moving there." A few weeks or a few months later, she had a dream, and she felt like the Lord came to her in her dream and said that you really need to contemplate this and you really need to do it. So they went back out for a little more extended period of time and then fell in love with it and decided that they were going to run this mission. And that's when Acts 26 was really burned on her heart, when it said taking people from the power of Satan that were in darkness and into the light. Because as we'll show you, the life there is a lot filled with darkness. This is sort of the living conditions that they have. Anybody wants to jump in? I don't want to.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
So, like, think about it. When we went to Maripon, right?
Yeah.
And we drove through. What did we see?
All of the houses are like very close together. There's people just walking all over the place, everywhere. No one's really driving around. They're all walking. A lot of them recognize the van that we were in because it says Acts 26 on the side. So a lot of the leaders and the kids that have gone to the camp will like wave and like run with the van and things. But yeah, everything is just in very close quarters. There's also like a lot of, what was TK saying? I couldn't hear him too much from the back. There's a lot of bars and different.
He goes, "That's the bad
Yeah,
place."
he's like,
Yeah,
that's the bad
those are the dark
place.
places.
Yeah.
The bars and the
It's
where
like
people
bad
hang
things,
out.
yeah.
But a lot of the houses were just corrugated steel,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
were all very close quarters, and this is like right in front of their houses. They just put fruits and vegetables in a little bag and hang it out, and hope that people will buy it. But I know Kelsey saw something that was striking.
Yeah. So I mean, for starters, everybody was just together, even if they were in one of the bad places. It was always about community, and everybody always wanted to be together, and that was honestly one really encouraging, I guess, to all of us. It kind of inspired us to be a community better. But then also on top of it, as we were driving, there was a little girl who was playing with a dirty crock. And it was a tie-dyed crock. I remember that very specifically. And she was filled with joy. And it was, I kind of laughed to myself, but then later I was really thinking about it, and during our bonfire time, which I'm sure we'll get into, I brought it up, and I was like, my siblings aren't happy unless they have like an iPad or a phone or something in front of them that is keeping them busy 24/7 all the time. And it was beautiful to just be able to watch and see just a little girl playing with a dirty crock, and she didn't care. She didn't have a care in the world that it wasn't a ball, that it wasn't a phone, that it wasn't TV, that Bluey wasn't playing. It just was. She just had something, and that was enough for her.
As you can see right up here, I have a picture. It's very much coal mining towns all around here. So if you have asthma, you would be using your treatment every day.
Poor kids.
Because it is very dry there, so the dirt is everywhere. Kayla we were praying for her a lot as she was using her asthma treatment. But everyone works for the coal mines. So it's very dry area and fairly dirty area. So at night I saw like this ribbon of to me it looked like beautiful mist and fog, and I'm like, look at how excited it is. And Jody Adams was like, yeah, that's cold, it's dirty, and everybody, the entire, country is on fire, because everyone just burns everything. So it's definitely not for those who struggle with their lungs to go, because they say they have a lot of emphysema, they have a lot of cancer, a lot of lung issues there because of that. Actually, Robin pointed that out to me. She said, I was looking on the weather, and it says that it's very poor breathing conditions there. So pretty much what we're experiencing here is kind of like life for them.
I'm glad she didn't know that before she went.
Yes. So the first Sunday we were there, we got to meet the leaders.
Oh my word. It was
It was my favorite part.
Everybody please chip in, because I feel like for all of us this was
The best.
it was probably one of the best days there. I mean, the whole entire trip was phenomenal, but meeting the leaders and just getting to know everybody was fantastic. I can't even explain it any other way. It's very difficult to put into words. But just from even just getting there, meeting the staff, kindest people I ever met. The leaders were so open to us, and they, some were a little iffy, and some obviously.
I'm just gonna add this
You
in.
know-
The leaders are actually from the villages and
Oh, yeah,
towns
sorry, I did
at
not
the
say
same
that.
as the kids. So when you said iffy, it made me think, there's definitely how do I say this? There's a difference in the way that they could have treated us or been a little bit of afraid of us versus what actually happened. And Kathy and Jody even commented that night at dinner, she was amazed at how quickly we all came together. We'll talk about the dancing in a minute, but we were all dancing together, and it was there was no separation. It was just all of us together, and that can, for me, continued throughout the week. They were very much sometimes laughing at us when we would try their words. But yeah, there was definitely a relationship. Specifically, Carly worked with Grant, and Grant is, he rode in the bus every day, but there was a sense of him that was so wanting to have these kids know who Jesus was, and the care and the just compassion and grace he had for these kids. He probably sticks out to me the most as somebody who just, you saw it, whatever he did, he was doing for those kids.
I want to explain that their VBS, our VBS here is, 2.5 hours, and we are all different ages. Their leaders there, they're all teenagers. All of the 50 people who came are all teenagers on their winter break. There's a reason they're teenagers, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of up and down. You're on the ground most of the day.
Yeah.
And when you're in a room with 430 people, plus 50 leaders, plus 12 of us, and you go to get up, kids are stepping on your hands, the kids are trying to help me and Lisa up off the ground. But they were, so basically, it was their winter, so it was 34 degrees in the morning, got up to about 70 in the afternoon. But this is their kids' winter break, so they get 3 weeks off. They do more like a year-round school, so it's 3 weeks off in the winter, 3 weeks off during the rainy season, a week or 2 off for Christmas, that's how their schedule rolls. So these kids, it was their winter break. I want you to imagine your 14-year-old, and your 14-year-old saying, I'm gonna get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna walk 45 minutes to get to a bus, and then get on a bus and go a half an hour to go spend all of my day with kids that I don't know to teach them about Jesus. And then do the same trip back at 3:30 in the afternoon. And a lot of the kids started getting sick because it's their flu season, so they would show up in masks. But you couldn't complain if you got a cough, because they just walked 45 minutes and 30 minutes, and they're still here. So that was really eye-opening to me. So our first day there was meeting the leaders, and our meeting, if anybody ever complains about our mandatory meeting out of manual, that is 50 minutes long. This meeting was about 4.5 hours long, and we did all of our dances, knew all of our songs, and they were committed to doing this. And remember, they had to take that trip in just for our meeting day. So, very prayerful people as well.
Yeah.
So they prayed over every station. We went to every single station and prayed over it to prepare for the week. So I thought that was really cool.
So Keely, we have lots of ideas for you. And no one's ever gonna complain about Amanda's not meeting.
I'd like to ask questions.
Sure.
Did they all speak English? Like, was everything presented in English, all the directions, all the Bible teaching?
So there's about 8 different languages that happen in South Africa. Zulu and Afrikaans was the most prevalent on where we were, and Sebedi were the most prevalent. But you could be in a group where you, Jen, can't talk to Terry because Terry speaks Zulu and you speak Afrikaans. So most of it was in English because they learn English in school, so that actually combines them. But we could be in the middle of an area and they just start talking in something else.
The leaders sometimes would like switch back and forth. So they would present, like especially in the gospel station, Captain would present the gospel in English, and then he would switch over. And it was beautiful. Like I kept telling them, it's like music in my ears. Like they switched back and forth, and you would see when it was English or African, you would see some kids go like this, and then they would switch, and they would say it again, and you see more kids go like this, and I'm like, yeah, like.
But the kids that came, like it was solely the camp was basically built for like 8-year-olds through 12. But you can't stop the 5-year-olds from coming in, and you can't stop the 14-year-olds from coming in who wanted to come to camp. But generally speaking, the 8-year-olds and younger didn't know English completely. So we were talking to them, but we were just getting smiles and
A lot of smiles.
smiles and nods.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the younger kids didn't understand it as much with the groups throughout the week. So kind of like with our VBS, you have like 3 crews in one group. So each of us were in a different crew with 2 other leaders from South Africa. So I know in my group, by the end of the week, we had around 19 kids in my crew. So we split them up into 3 groups, and I took like the older kids because they understood English more. That way, the South Africans were able to talk to the younger kids and get kind of the message across to them.
So a typical day at camp, basically at 7:30 in the morning, the team leaders would come in and we would gather up, hold hands, and Kathy would stand in the middle and she would go, "Caroline, it's your time to pray." And then you just had to pray in front of everybody.
Yes. She had to pray.
Caroline did pray. She did. I kind of just wrote down what our actual day looked like. It would start around 8 a.m. and went till 3:30. So I'm just going to read this, and then I thought maybe you guys could each pick one area to talk about for like a minute. But we started with hugs and greetings. This was really the place for Christine. I got to hug and clap for Jesus and hold hands with everyone. Lisa especially loved the holding hands part. But we did hugs and greetings, and then you pray. And then you sing, and then you pray. And then you do memory verses, and you do chanting, and you pray. And you do journal time and Bible memory verse stations, and you pray. You do games, and then you pray. You do snack and imagination station, and then you pray. You do the gospel station, and then you pray. You do the missionary station, and then you pray.
To stay awake.
Stay awake. Missionary station was rough. Yes. You do lunch, and then you pray. You do the Bible story station, and you pray. You do crafts, and you pray. You do dancing and a recap, and you pray. And then you give goodbyes and hugs. The reason I'm telling you is how much we prayed is those kids did not walk away from VBS not knowing what the Bible verse was. They did not walk away from VBS not knowing what the gospel message was, what the Bible verse was. So I think, yeah, do you want to take one?
Well, I was going to say, I'll add
Just for about a
to
minute.
singing, because I have to call out the group of our team that did so amazing with Dr. Flutterby. And if you came to VBS, you got to see Dr. Flutterby. But Brooke and Chris and Kelsey, and Kayla, did I miss anybody?
No, that was it.
No, not only were they on a 15-and-a-half-hour flight, going here, doing this, they also learned scripts, which I didn't realize until we got there that Kelsey actually rewrote to fit there. So kudos to you. And little did we know that us in our delirium, the night before we started going, it's a booper looper, boop, would catch on like nobody.
I've been through so many times.
Oh my word. Yeah, it was, so to kind of give you some, what is it? Background, yeah, context. So we were actually lucky enough to be able to meet the group that was there the week before us, which was another FAC group. Did I say that right? FAC? Okay. And so I was talking with the guy who had played Dr. Flutterby, and he was like, just give something like very specific that the kids can hang on to for the rest of the week. And so I was like, all right, I don't really know what to do, but he like said he made up a weird name for it and then went, and so kids were going the whole entire week that he was there. So then later I went back and me and Kayla are rehearsing and Lisa's sitting there and everybody else is, you know, like pitching in, and I'm like, I don't know what to call it. And I think at first I was like, I'm gonna call it like a cheeseburger Dorito torpedo or something.
Yeah, torpedo.
Torpedo. And then I was like, no, that's way too long. Like that's not gonna catch on at all. And then I don't know what it was, but then
It just came
a
out.
booper looper came up. I was like, but I call it a booper looper. And then I had an amazing idea of booping them on the nose. And so every time that it said butterfly in the script, I would say something like silly, like my sweet little booper looper. Boop. The kids thought that it was hilarious. And so by the end of the week, everybody was coming up going boop, 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 boop.
They wanted you to do it back.
They wanted to do it, yeah, they loved it. And it was hilarious.
Brooke, do you want to talk about the chants that we made?
Oh, so my group was not unfortunately, but we were the butterflies. So yeah, ours wasn't. We didn't think about that, but each group they had to come up with like a chant. So like as you were going to each station, we're outside, or just as you're in journal time, you would come up with some chant that represents your team, and then towards the end of the week, they would have you stand up like around the dancing time, and they would have you perform your chants. So the leaders were very passionate about this, and like obviously doing it in previous years and stuff, that's all they would talk about on the bus ride to and from camp. And they would like give each other ideas, and it would just be like your team, and then just random things. Like Pastor Greg's was the Mountain Gorillas, and his chant was like 8 minutes long. And every time I looked over at Kathy, she was like, when is it gonna be over? But just like anytime you're moving, all you hear is just like up to like 10 different groups doing their chant, and they're all like everybody's learning each other's. Like I was with Lisa and Carly.
Yeah.
And
we learned Carly so fast.
yeah. And even like surprise, they were the lemurs, so they did We Like to Move It.
Yeah.
And it would just get
Back
all the
as
kids going.
King Julian.
Like it was and it was amazing to come up with, because like it would be a mix of like their language and English sometimes, or just like seeing the kids get so excited about it and being able to perform it with their team. Like that's all they would talk about. Like, oh, when are we gonna stand up and do our chant? And I was like, I don't know, but we don't even have one. So
Yeah.
Now everybody would go from station to station holding hands,
Yeah.
and you would be doing your chant. So at the end of that video, you saw us all going into one room. That's all 500 people there with leaders and kids in that one room doing their chant. So, you know, one of them's yelling lemurs, one of them's yelling butterflies, one's yelling gorillas. I was a cockatoo, and an aye-aye. Yes, Carly was an aye-aye. So that you kind of just heard that as you were walking in. It kind of marked who you were. Yeah.
Can I do one? I know I'm gonna jump around, but I have to go upstairs soon. So one thing I do want to say that really touched my heart, and you know, we were literally like, how do we bring this home, right? Just the idea of the gospel station and them doing their verses. one thing that they did is even during games, before they started the games, they would pick one kid from each station, each crew, and they would stand up and say the Bible verse that for that day. So, God is our creator, and I'm sorry guys, I can't remember it. And then they would do the Bible verse. The reason we had to remember it is because in the Bible story station, the girl that ran that wouldn't pick students to do the verse, she would pick leaders.
From all throughout the week.
So that I thought was really cool because they really left, even if it was just repeating it, it was still that scripture that was locked in their heart, right? So that is something that really stood out to me with every single station. And sorry, with the games and in any station, Bible story, imagination station, crafts, they were always touching on these verses, which I thought was really cool. Wait, one more. Oh. Are you going to talk about the gospel station? Okay, never mind.
We were gonna add that.
Okay,
Yes.
you can come up for this.
Caroline, do you wanna share?
Are you gonna do the monkey
Not yet.
dance for us? Can you do the monkey
You
dance?
will. Go ahead.
So something different that they do that we don't have, they have like 2 periods of time that's called their journal time. So each kid gets like a notebook and it has the different Bible point and the verse of the day. And so it's kind of just a reiteration of what the verse was, what the Bible point was. And in my group personally, I had a lot of little kids and they didn't always understand it when we were talking in English about what the verse was. But there was a lot of pictures and you could draw things. And so I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know if you would do it here, but for them, I think it was great to just get that picture in their mind. And they kind of understood if I was talking to them. They're like, okay, which picture do you circle? Or what do you want to draw? What does God mean to you? What do you love? And so I thought that was cool, that we just had a designated time that we could just sit down, not worry about what's going on, the different chants and everything, and just take time and really focus on what the verse was and what it meant to us.
Yeah, and to also build off of that, the journal times were also the time that a lot of the kids like came forth and said like I accepted Jesus, and this is the time that you can really talk about what you learned that day. So like Caroline was saying, there is 2 separate times. So it was one that was in the morning and then one towards the end of the day right before we had our closing and with our recap time. And so, you know, that's when you really kind of got to make a connection with the kids. And so some are laughing at you because they're trying to teach you their language.